Decided today to do smoked pork ribs. So first I'll start off with a herb mixture, about a teaspoon of thyme, about a teaspoon of sage, 2 teaspoons of rock salt, and about half a teaspoon of peppercorns. Add to that about 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika and about 1 level teaspoon of chipotle powder. Just a little bit extra, probably about 1.5 teaspoons of some kind of generic Italian herb mix. So get those and we grind those all together in a mortar and pestle. Okay. That extra little bite I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of crushed chilies. Just a little bit for that heat. Let's go in. Do that mix together. Okay, so for the actual ribs, I've already removed the film inside. Lay those out. First thing I want to do is just put a layer of, I use Dijon mustard, nothing special. This just helps the rub to stick to the meat. No easy way to do it, make sure you've got clean hands. Just get that rub all over. The idea, I want to cover all of the meat on both sides. Do that. Wash the hands. Again, what we need is a good liberal coating of the rub that you've just made. And it spills onto the cling film, you easily just reuse that. Get it back together. Over. Just want a good even coating of this. To the left, over. Again, a little bit to the left. Let's put that over the underside as well. That's it for the coatings, so that's going to sit in the fridge overnight and we'll cook those tomorrow. So we're going to be cooking the barbecue ribs today, the pork ribs, and we're going to basically do a dual cook. So we're going to smoke them for a little while and then we're going to braise them in here. So what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about the barbecue that I chose to do this. It's a Pitboss A50 Navigator. So I'm going to point out some of the features of it. First of all, at the bottom here we have a shelf, storage shelf, which then comes out. And it can go into here and become a support table, a work table. Second benefit of this is it has quite a big grill area. So on here I've done it before where I've had chicken, I've had pork ribs, I've had lamb chops and I've had fish. So there's a big cook area on it as well. One of the other advantages after doing some research was that sometimes the wood pellets, which go into the hopper here, they can sometimes absorb moisture and make your auger unusable. So one of the advantages with this one is at the back here we have a little release chute, so I can take this out, click this, and the pellets that are in there will actually come out, so I can clean it out regularly. Also it means if I want to go from say apple wood to cherry wood, I can do. And you can see it's not heavy. The other thing I like about it is how easy it is to start up. So essentially all you have to do is you press the on button here, set it to smoke, and it starts up. So we can leave it, so that's all good. The final feature that I like is this. What we have is a built-in bottle opener here. And open the drink. Cheers. So the first thing that we look at here is temperature is up to. It's about 75 degrees, which is a good smoking temperature. These are the ribs, which I forgot to mention last night, are what's called pork 4/4 ribs. So this is the rub that I left on there yesterday, and those have been in the fridge through the whole night. So if you open up, you see the smoke that's coming off there. All you basically do is just pop them on. And these are going to sit in here and smoke for about an hour to an hour and a half to get that flavour before we start doing the double cooking process. So they can just sit there and they can wait. I'm also using this as a spritzer, which keeps them a bit moister going through. Some people say use apple juice. What I've done is I've used a low sugar cider because the apple juice is about 10 to 12% sugar and I don't want them that sweet. So I'll be coming out regularly and spritzing those possibly once every half hour. Apart from that, you can just leave it there and they're happy for about the next hour and a half to 2 hours. So the next part for the cooking is we've got about half an onion here which I've just sliced up. Put it into the tray. This one I'm going to do like a nice slow braise, still on smoker barbecue. About a dessert spoonful of garlic. And for the apple, I'm going to use something called Fat Pixie apple cider. That's just going to go straight on there. This just provides the liquid so it doesn't actually dry out when we're cooking. So put that. Add to this as well, just a little flavour hit. Half a spoon of just some cooking stock powder. And mix up. What's going to happen is we're going to put the pork ribs into here, wrap them in foil, and then put them back onto the smoker. Have a look how these ribs are doing. So you can see that they've changed. The colours got stronger on them. On my spritz. Just a little spray to help with that moisture. I'm going to take off the barbecue and come back on a slow braise. So these have been on here for probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So we can take those off, shut them down, and we'll take the temperature from smoke up to about 120 and we'll go from there. So from here, I'll put the larger ones in at that side. So you just want to fit them in nice and easy. So all this is going to do is just continue that slow cooking throughout. So they don't need to be exposed to the heat. What I will do, just to stop them sticking, a little bit of baking powder to the top of them. This gets on top. Over the top there. The good thing with the pellet grills is they heat up quite quickly. So a nice seal on that, so they don't burn out. So the liquid that's in there will help keep them all very moist. This is just going to go back onto the barbecue. Tight. Just squeeze in. Again, let's forget about those for about another 2 hours.
Yes.
Alrighty, so weather's not great, but the ribs have been in here now for about 2 hours on a higher temperature, about 120, 130, which means they'll be nice and tender when we come to cook them. All we're going to do is take these out. I'm going to coat them in a bit of barbecue sauce and then put them back in to finish cooking. Everything else apart from there is good. How's it looking now? Soft, tender. You can see that as you push them. Good, good. So what we want to do is to put some barbecue sauce on them, and then we'll put them back into the burner, into the smoker.
Homemade barbecue sauce.
They'll be awesome.
Wow. Oh, let's see.
This will turn into a gravy.
A juice. A juice.
Even Pluto can sniff them. So all we're doing now is just glazing them and coating them, and these are going to go back onto the barbecue afterwards. Of course, when we put them back onto the barbecue, we have to increase the temperature so they get a glaze rather than a burn. Wow. Increase the temperature to around about 200. Those will cook through. Come back to those in about 15 minutes. Awesome. Okay, so the ribs have been in there for about an hour.
Whoa.
Those. That's what they look like. Bring them out, put some more sauce on those. Those are slow cooked barbecue pork ribs. Awesome.